Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to round one back nine coverage of the 2024 Chess.com Invitational presented by Discraft. Stop one of many here on the 2024 season. Jeremy Koling, Paul Ulibarri, BigBarri commentary. Gonna wrap up this tournament, all three rounds here, just you and me, buddy.
Yes, sir. And our front nine was interesting. It really gave us a good look of what this course has to offer for you guys and what you're going to be seeing through the rest of the weekend. It's just playing tough. These birdies are tough to get. We see the leader, Anthony Barella there. He's 4 under through 9 holes, which is actually kind of scorching it, which we're not typically used to seeing out here on the Pro Tour. Under par is good. As you can see, 16th place all the way down there. That's 1 under par. We don't see that very often through 9 holes. Let's get right into the back 9, though. Hole 10, par 3, 341. Tight off the bat. You don't want to go left. You want to go that right side of this fairway. Very low ceiling. Get past this red basket and try to miss this little... What was that, the Grinch Who Stole Christmas tree?
That is the Charlie Brown Christmas trees of obstacles. It's just
it's right
an
there.
Unnecessary little annoyance right there. After you've piped your line, you got one last thing to worry about, and it's right in the way.
Right to left crosswind, so throwing a turnover is going to pull to the right. You're going to see these guys try to throw hyzer through this gap.
And that's the height that, you are nearly trying to do exactly what Calvin just did there. Any higher, and you're concerning yourself with that branch in the middle of the fairway, so... Looked a little bit like he threw it right into the ground, but that's what you got to do.
That's the right shape. Ricky threw the right shape. He gets a bad kick to the left, but if he was a little lower and a little more left, that would have gone all the way to the pin. We're going to see pretty massive... Oh, he doesn't... I was figuring he would go Anheuser off the bat with something stable.
I thought it's kind of, I think, what he was trying to do. I think it was just a little bit high on the release. And McBeth going the hyzer flip line, which is just so good. Does he hit the last thing really in the way? Yes, he does. And, man, the punishment is...
Hyzer flip right
all
there
the way
is
down.
So tough.
Yes. And you can see what Paul hit right there in Chris's line. It's not even a full tree. It's just a trunk of a tree that's like maybe 4 feet high. But it's just right in the way.
Chris gets some good breaks there. Hits a little root, then runs into some fallen down branches. Ricky goes backside to about 18 feet, 20 feet. Paul, this is easy stuff right here. Don't hit the little koozie.
Do not hit the koozie, especially with it right there at the top of the hill.
Right to left crosswind here.
And after Calvin's great drive, this is what he's left with for the birdie. And back-to-back birdie bids now on 9 and 10. Low off the cage.
Good putt there from Chris. Right to left crosswind for Calvin. Getting that Anheuser on his putt. It's just going to smack that down. That's why he missed that one. If he had a little flatter, I think it would have lifted right into the chain. So
only one player in the field in the bullseye here on 10.
Bunch of pars. See, this is one of the ones you get to, 341 down the pipe. You're thinking, okay, this is a birdie hole. I need to get a look. And then you throw it, and you're scrambling, and you're like...
You think that when you step on this tee?
I do, yeah.
You think this is a birdie hole? I mean,
it's 341, yeah.
Only 8 people in the circle at all in regulation. It's just very difficult line down the middle.
When you step on the tee, you don't think, okay, this is one I can get?
I think that walking down to 11, I felt like a superhero being in the bullseye.
Bullseyed it.
Little Nux.
Nice.
Thank you. Hole 11, got a par 4. This is a new hole here this year. Blind 491. You want to land pretty close to where the FPO basket is, but then you're going to go sharp left up the hill. And again, this is a hole where it does not matter how good your drive is. You will have a blind approach to this elevated basket, and it slopes behind the basket as well.
This is one of my favorite holes on the course. I think this is a great design. Very technical. You've got so many options. You can go flex off the tee. You can go that straight shot. I opt for this one right here. Ricky's going for the sidearm hyzer.
And just caught a little bit of the foliage. I am with you all the way on that assessment, Paul. I really like the hole. At first, I didn't quite understand it, but when we're playing a blind hole, we're trying to figure out where the landing zones are. But after you played it once or twice and you understand what you're trying to do, this hole just is good.
Yeah, I like it because it gives everybody their option. Whatever your best shot is, it gives you the option to throw that shot on this hole off the tee.
Great shot from Clemons, perfect execution, and McBeth trying to go with a similar line with the backhand. That kick is going to make a very challenging approach. Ricky out of position. Got to go high, turn over the forehand. This is going to stall out and fall short, but in the fairway. And he's going to have a decision to make from there because that's going to be a pretty lengthy bid from back there.
Look at this little innovative move.
That is so crazy good.
Air bounce underneath. Kind of had to get some body English on there. That is not a typical throw you're going to see him do, and that's a veteran.
That's a Paul McBeth classic.
Yeah.
Him kind of adjusting his position, his body position to get a little bit lower and throw an awkward shot like that. Just crafty, savvy veteran stuff.
Chris giving himself a look. Very nice.
And perfect drive, nearly perfect approach. Very well played hole so far for Chris.
I do like the little touch of them putting the turf on the bottom of this bucket. Makes it look nice.
Oh, yeah.
I like that, Pro Tour. Keep doing little things like that.
This isn't really much of a decision at all for Ricky. Hey.
That's not a gimme.
No, it is certainly not a gimme. And
in
fact,
wow.
You're still up.
Oh, jeez.
Doesn't bother Ricky.
Nope. 2 inches above the rim on the stripe. You know what?
It bothers me a little bit, but it doesn't bother Ricky. That's all that matters.
Yep. Just snag it out of the bottom.
Chris for birdie, and this would get him back to even par. Go ahead and take that one.
Calvin.
This kind of feels like old school par 4 style disc golf.
Yeah.
Like the new school par 4 are like really long landing zones in the woods with a really long second shot. But this is more of like the touch shots. And here's Barella after a fantastic drive and nearly rings up the eagle and somehow puts the brakes on the disc afterwards just to get him to 5 under. And Anthony Barella is cruising right now, bogey free.
Good catch right there on the right side. Ooh, just right under that number 11. 5 under the mark.
And Paul Rodon jumping up into second place now. To another blind downhill par 3, 563 feet. But with this much elevation drop, it can be reached by most all players on tour with either a turnover backhand or a really powerful forehand.
Or backhand hyzer.
A backhand hyzer?
Maybe from Chris.
Oh, very fair. Got a little owl statue there on the green. Let's see what kind of move Chris puts on this one. I like the height. I like the power.
Tight?
That's that tree right there is what you got to beat. What a shot.
Wow. Fantastic.
Throws it about
owl.
543 feet. This looks to be a little tight. And it does catch the outside edge of those trees. You have to put it so wide to avoid those.
I like this shape. Is it too much turn? It's going to burn over underneath that stuff on the right side.
Yeah, he'll be in circle 2. Long look coming.
Well, yeah, and that's just the wind. On another day, even in the same wind conditions, maybe he doesn't get a gust, and that's parked.
Ricky, just so much power. It's just barely too tight. That had so much steam on it still. I mean,
he doesn't hit that branch.
He's past the basket.
Yeah.
McBeth from forever. Nearly drains one from Alabama.
That was grody.
Ricky with a standstill. Great effort from back there. And Calvin from 65 plus. And it looks like we're going to have another birdie here for Chris, just outside bullseye.
That gets him to 1 under. Nice little turnaround for him. Oh.
Cannot take anything for granted.
Yeah, that was a pretty loose stroke there from Paul.
It's nice to get away with those sometimes. Remind yourself without the penalty. Jesse Nieminen also at 4 under.
Brought back by popular demand. Z-Lite plastic from Discraft. Disc that you already know and love, now available in lighter weights. Z-Lite, more distance with less effort.
Fun little par 4 here, Paul. What are you trying to do?
I try to go roller off the tee, and I think because I'm trying to go roller, you're going to see a lot of these guys opt for the forehand, get right over here to this gully right here, and then manufacture some sort of ante or sidearm turnover into the green, hyzer, some backhand turnovers, but that's really tight. You just want to get right here. Hit the gap, move your disc to the right side. That really opens up your approach shot.
Not so much about power off the tee. You just want to avoid these ones that are straight off the tee, and Chris has avoided them. That hillside's nice. Rolling back this way, not nice, actually. The inside lane is incredibly well guarded. You want to make your finish as far right as possible. I think Paul's going to hit a tree.
Yeah, short. That's going to make all of his little gaps tiny. If you just get 40 feet farther, those gaps widen by probably 5-6 feet.
Whoa. Oh, man.
That's the thing is, though, even if you're over left, it's doable. It's just teeny tiny gaps everywhere. Hurry.
I like this one for Rick.
Hurry.
I don't like the result of the tree that rolled him back, but him and Chris are going to find themselves both in a scramble situation, but you like the distance that they both got off the tee.
You see what I mean there from Calvin?
Yeah, he had a chance.
If he gets through there, he's got a little look from circle's edge.
This is another one of these pins that there is a big wall right behind the basket, so you don't have to worry so much about the power control. Yeah. Hitting the line with speed is fine because that wall will keep you close to the basket.
That was a great look from where Paul was and how small those gaps are. Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, the camera probably made that gap look bigger than it was for where Chris is. I mean, I think the turnover forehand for Ricky is probably a better angle.
That's
that
wide
shot.
Open. Yeah, it's...
The hyzer forehand for the lefty was very tight.
Yeah, that's chump change right there for Ricky. He's going to make that shot.
It's one of the best shots in his game.
10 out of 10 times.
Paul just hunting change from, I mean, trying to at least. That was, I don't think he's just trying to lay that up.
I don't either because it's, now he has a tough putt coming back. He hasn't been putting great.
Calvin's just trying to find a gap to punch through, and he does.
Tough hole to bogey. I would say, what is this on the...
And McBeth will be bogeying it.
What is the birdie percentage on this one?
Hole 13 is the second easiest hole on the course.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the par 5 is going to be the easiest hole then.
40, yes, it is. 44% birdie.
Ricky's bogey free.
That is good.
Yeah, on this course.
In a word, That is good.
Look at that. It's a great little look there.
And then there is a bunch of fellows right there, all at 4 under par. Anthony Brella still on top.
Great par 4 right here.
Yeah. You're just gonna get over this little ridge here and work your way left. Be sure to not go too straight into the sawgrass. You might lose your disc. From there, it's just pretty wide open. This is one of the holes that kind of gives you a little hope that you can be a professional disc golfer when you play the hole. It doesn't have too many obstacles, really. You just got to get through the gap off the tee and then set yourself up for anywhere between 370 and 320 feet, depending on how much distance you get off the tee. And this might be in danger. That sawgrass? No, just hyzers right in time.
Perfect.
But you can see at the tail end, it was very close.
Yes.
This is also a very nice drive for Chris.
I like his chances from there, especially being lefty, being able to hyzer it out over that left-hand side. There is out of bounds on the left for the second shot. Calvin, is there any way he can get past that? Yeah.
Oh, that is so close.
You got to think it's probably pretty tough for him to throw a disc that doesn't get to that side with as much power as he has. This is more of like what you would say perfect.
Yeah, just no question about any part of that shot for McBeth. But I agree, yeah, Calvin has to back off a little bit, as does Ricky. I mean, really, all these guys kind of do a little bit.
This needs a dig. Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
That'll get him back to even if he can knock down a short one.
There was like no question on the drive or the approach. Like that was just a perfectly played hole for McBeth.
This has got to get some legs. Yeah, very good.
Chris is going to like that.
Ricky's in a tough spot here. He's got to go. That's short, Jerm.
Yeah, it's shorter than he'd like to be for sure. And Calvin is now dealing with slightly gustier conditions.
Left to right wind, though. It's really a helping wind for these guys coming into this hole.
And that is well done from there for Calvin.
If the wind switches and it's a heavy right to left, it brings that out of bounds left into play. Ricky from 45, air ball.
You have to be careful on that left side of the basket from this perspective. That area is very close to the pin. And if you get in there, even just a couple of feet, you might not have a look. I mean, you can see Ricky really stretching out to the side here. He didn't go that far behind the basket. That is a very important bunker, and it could play an effect coming down the stretch of the last round.
Even for somebody like me, where Ricky was, here's Calvin for a nice birdie. From where Ricky was, I don't have that reach right there, so it would have been a very, very tricky putt for myself. Even Paul, being closer, opts to straddle out from it. Nice little crowd back there. We are kind of a long ways from a big city, about an hour away from Tampa. So to see some people come out and support the first day, pretty good.
I think we're going to have record numbers this season. I mean, the sport just continues to grow. The Disc Golf Pro Tour continues to push the envelope on what the tour should be and standardizing everything along the way. You know, I mean, we're just evolving every single season, and the fan base has been growing as well. And it's been amazing to watch as we fly over one of the signature holes here on the course. It is the easiest hole in the course. It is the only par 5 that we will be playing. 934 feet with a steep drop off the tee, just trying to keep it in the middle. There is potential for eagle because you can get 500 feet off the tee, really no problem if you are trying to. Keeping it in the middle, that's something else entirely.
I mean, you get 500 feet off the tee with a mid-range. It's just the next shot going up the hill, 400's playing 470.
That light grass area there is where they used to have a short tee pad. It's a good indicator of a good tee shot, and Calvin just went 60 feet past it. So just as a little perspective for the fans,
Paul playing hyzer flip with that mid-range. This is a great play because it just glides. You don't have to worry about it going left.
Yep. Past Calvin's. To be fair, I think they're all trying to get past that T-pad by a decent amount, but those shots are set up perfectly.
Ricky going for all of it. I like this play because I really feel like you can. I'm surprised that the rest of the guys aren't going fast driver, because even from where Ricky is right there, you can
still scramble for the birdie.
You can lay it up to the base of the hill, throw a hyzer up there, and have a putt at birdie.
And that way, you at least give yourself a chance to maybe get the eagle look.
Right.
I'm with you.
Oh, you slid off the tee-pad. You called for it.
3 drives in the center of varying distance, and Ricky is going to be well past them, a little bit off the fairway.
But playing it the way they do makes it even easier. You can just place it to the bottom of the hill.
Yeah, there's no one's in eagle position right now.
Yep, putter up there. Calvin, if he wanted to, for sure, he can get to the hole from there, I think.
You think?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's probably pushing maybe only 450 to 460, but it's uphill so much that it just is, it really is reaching from back there.
Paul playing hyzer flip. These guys are just trying to get to the top. Putter play from there up to the bucket. Tap in that easy bird. You don't get a lot of bird chances out here.
Yeah, this is one you definitely have to take advantage of.
See, because here's Ricky from the woods, base of the hill. He's still going sidearm hyzer up there. Needs to hold on, though. Perfect, yeah.
I mean, he basically did the work with just the distance off the tee alone.
Yep. Now, believe me, if you do not get it down enough and you push left,
if you go way left,
you're done. You have to
you're
pitch
in trouble.
Straight out. But bogey's a horrible score on this hole.
Agreed.
Sit. Tricky from there. Very tricky.
I mean, he'll be tap in range, but not a tap in. Ooh, does he get over it? No.
Tricky. It's a horrible mistake. You can go to the right side there, and it's a lot more wide open.
This would be a sick putt. And again, I mean, the cage has just got to... At this point, he's just laughing.
There you go. Look at... Oh, no. Sit. It's not easy from there.
No. Nobody wants that putt for par, ever. At any point in the history of disc golf, nobody has wanted that putt right there for par.
Nobody wants that putt for anything. I want Ricky's putt. It's only 4 feet closer. So much easier, though.
And for birdie. Something about being for birdie, there's just the stress of it. It just changes everything about the putt.
Look at this guy taking his time.
I think he's just showing off the hair. Honestly, you have to take advantage of screen time, and when you got locks like that and the wind's blowing, just take an extra second or two. You don't know who's watching.
Lots of people on this card.
I'm saying sponsors, bro. Like, there's opportunities for, like, Troy Polamalu type stuff.
You hit that on the nose.
I think of Matty O when I think of hole 16. It's just like nice little turnover backhand driver, par 4 through the this looks like Alabama, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of look like the Gulf area of Alabama?
It really does. If you made this whole course flat, it's where Matty O learned to play.
Yeah. But basically, you're trying to throw it maybe 450 is perfect. You can get away with 370 to 400.
You just want to get it turned over at all costs. If you go to the left side, it takes birdie out of play. This thing has to be so stable. Please get out of that.
Worth mentioning, there is an OB line that you're seeing Ricky flirt with, kind of, barbed wire and all, on the right side of the fairway the entire way. 2-meter relief off of barbed wire, but Ricky's not that close to it. Now, this just does not turn over, and this is going to be early left, which is tricky.
Now he's just going to be laying up probably to where you want your drive to be.
If he can, depending on how deep he is. This is what you're looking for.
Is it going to get around the...
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Oh, it's in the honey spot.
Hurry. This is also honey spot.
Yep. Standstill forehand coming from McBeth.
Oh, so he's going to cut the corner.
Okay, it's the scramble.
Honestly, not bad from there. On the left side in the woods, you have a straight shot to the pin. I wish I didn't know that.
Oh, Ricky. Oh. I wanted to see what that would have looked like in the end, but fortunately, we'll never know. Chris
Leaves it a little too high.
Yeah, just chopping his way through the hole right now. How did I know McBeth was going to go standstill? Nobody wants to do a run-up on that pine straw.
Nobody wants that putt either.
Yeah, leaving that one a bit short. That's not going to be satisfactory for how good of a drive Paul just got, or threw. That's a little bit better for Calvin.
Very good.
Puts the brakes on about 17 feet long.
Even this green has a little teeth on it.
Yeah, it's sneaky. You don't think it looks like it's kind of flat, but there's that little hill there, and it can get away from you.
Yeah, if it gets down there, it's kind of like on the last hole. You get into those shrubs and makes your putt awkward. And as we've seen, nobody's been really great with the putter stroke. Ricky, best so far.
Holes 2 through 4.
Yep.
McBeth cleans up the birdie.
That'd have been a tough one to let you away with that good of a drive. Doesn't. Goes to 1 under. Doing McBeth things. Never out of it. Him and Calvin.
I just somehow.
It's just, they're playing the worst you've ever seen them play, and they're 1 under par. And right now, the best round on the course is Anthony at 7. That's a lot of strokes these days.
Wow. I mean, I could see a 7 under par on this course after our practice rounds. I'm like, yeah, 7 under seems like a good score. I could see someone getting in the 8-9 range, but not in this wind.
Right.
This wind, it makes scoring just seem impossible. But here, I mean, we got 3 guys here at 7 under par. It's pretty incredible.
Pardon me. My predictions before the tournament started was 3-7. So I think we'll get the job done. 7-7-7, 21 under.
21 under, it takes this thing down, no question, in my eyes. Hole 17 is a blind landing zone off the tee, over the hill, through a narrow gap, over a pond to a very small landing zone. This hole has so many challenges. A good tee shot that lands in that little narrow fairway is a pretty short, straight shot to the pin from there, but getting there is the hard part.
I think this turned into one of my favorite holes I've ever played.
Oh, really?
I just think it's a great hole. It makes you throw a classic touch shot off the tee, land soft in a small fairway.
Oh boy.
Paul slips bad. How is this going to work out?
Just exactly how he wanted it to.
Wow. But you don't see a lot of holes like this to where it's blind and you just have to trust your angles and your putters.
I don't think we've ever played. I don't think anyone's ever seen one like this. Ricky Wysocki.
Tricky little kicky. Watch this. Oh.
It's a reed.
Yeah.
I was going to say he has to go get steak tonight, but now he's got to eat reeds and cattails. That's not good. It was a bad joke, okay? Leave me alone. This is a tough tee shot for a lefty. Chris Clemons catching the cabbage and dropping, I think, safe?
Probably right in that bush. But
Wow, so he doesn't clear that bunker area, but just short of it is an open, safe area.
McBeth.
And that's just on the tree the whole time. And he's just outside C1.
Very frustrating.
Call it 40 feet.
Yep.
Calvin out driving the landing zone, has to go with a flex
Needs
forehand.
to sit.
And yeah, there is OB down on the left side,
That's gotta
but
be
he doesn't
OB.
find it.
Oh, it goes out right there.
Yeah,
doesn't
there's
it?
little juts in the little hill there.
Man.
Just the fact that Ricky even has a second shot and wasn't throwing his third shot from shore of the pond is just amazing. And he takes advantage of it, puts it under the basket, and he'll have a tap in.
Ooh, did he just lay it up OB? safe.
Nearly. I mean, you can see his back foot was nearly touching the OB line.
Great approach. I mean, if he can make that, that's a great par scramble. But I just feel like this hole, you don't see a lot of holes like this.
Never.
And it's just so tough. It has so much danger. Oh my goodness. Calvin, get the putt up, bud.
Yeah.
It has so much danger for being such a short hole. But if you can just throw those 2 classic shots, putter, then straight.
Sure.
I don't remember a hole like this that we've played in the last 5 years.
Again, I'm going to say I've never quite, I cannot relate this hole to anything else that I've ever played.
Beautiful design.
And yeah, I asked McBeth about it. He said, we just wanted to create some drama coming down the stretch. And this hole will certainly prove to be something that will be on the player's mind coming down these last couple. And Anthony Brell now has gotten to 8 under par.
We've had a lot of great course designers come from player background. Steve Brinster.
Will Schuster, Eric McCabe.
I was going to go down the list, UC Maresma.
You just stuttered a little bit, man. I was just helping you along the way.
Caleb Iska.
Yeah.
Paul McBeth. I think Paul McBeth view of the difficulty and the score being low kind of aligns with what I would like to see in a course.
Yeah.
Just tough.
Another one, classic, UC Maresma.
Said that.
Oh, wow. And the rain has
coming down.
Decided to make its presence here, and Ricky has gone out of bounds. Wow. And the forecast called for rain, but it wasn't until the end of the day. Well, we have the last card here, and they're dealing with it.
This needs to get down. Not going to happen, is it?
Wasn't it just sunny on 17?
Ish.
I thought I was seeing shadows on the green. This is crazy.
Well, you got to think there's usually a backup here as well.
Yeah, sure. Beth trying to chop really overstable forehand. Does it get around the corner in time and sit? It does. We'll do a better job of doing a fly-by breakdown of hole 18 in round 2, because this is just one of the signature holes of signature holes.
Well, our breakdown really isn't going to do it justice with this wind and the rain, too. That you're not going to get a good look of what you're trying to do, because the left to right wind
OB.
is just going to keep everybody doing that. You know, it's not showing you a real good representation of what you're trying to do.
Right. Calvin having to play from back here, so far away from the green. Can he crest the top of the hill? Unfortunately, he does not, and that will send him all the way up to drop zone area number 2, which is about a 50-foot putt.
Here's Ricky throwing from his out-of-bounds lie. So there's a couple rules here.
Wow, what a shot. It's insane.
If you don't throw and cover the out-of-bounds line, so your disc is never in bounds at any point, you go to a drop zone. These guys all did that, so they have to go where they went OB at. If you never make it on top of the island, or you go out of bounds at any point, there's another drop zone up there.
Right.
We see Chris Clemons is going to have to get up there. This looks great. Where is it?
Oh, this is heading left. Is it in? It is not. So we will have 3 players going to the drop zone number 2 area. First up will be Calvin.
He's just drenched. Doesn't really take his time.
Well, the good thing about the rain, though, is it kind of calmed the wind down. And when the wind is picking up from up here, you really don't think it's the putt's even possible. To stay at 1 under, not to be for McBeth.
I mean, look at this putt.
Well, never mind. The wind is back.
Wind, rain, tough track, double bogey. Calvin, that's a 1 over par. You're not gonna see a bunch of over par rounds from Calvin this season.
Yeah, this was the second most difficult hole. Pretty incredible scoring range, 46% bogey and above, but you still had 27% getting the birdie.
Okay. So it's really important to just land it in bounds. Here's Anthony Barilla. He's sitting at 8 under par.
And this has gotten away from him out to the left, but is it turning over in time? I don't believe so. This is going to go OB.
Too heavy on the hyzer, really. Didn't get it down. Didn't point that nose angle straight down, which is what you want here.
This is the safe par. He's going bogey free to this point.
This looks kind of great.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
That shot was headed right towards the pin, and that will take him all the way up to DZ2. This for bogey, and call it a double. That's going to drop Barella down to 6 under for the round.
And they really just caught a bad break ending in the last hole in these conditions, because I think that really played a big part in those bogeys and double bogeys that we see.
Well, it is going to be Ricky Wysocki tied with 3 others at 6 under par. Great rounds. Niklas Antila had 4 bogeys and shot 6 under par.
10 birdies.
10 birdies.
Wow.
And he said no putts were more than 10 feet away. So be watching out for Niklas Antila. In the prediction, the practice run, I said, watch out for the shorter guys who are a little bit lighter in stature, who are light on their feet. Niklas Antila fits the bill. Also have Joseph Anderson joining Anthony Barella on lead card for round 2 coming up tomorrow. Don't think we have any more rain in the forecasts. We only had 1 hole plagued by the rain today, but the course gets muddy, so we'll see how that rain affects the traction going into round 2.
One of the cool things about the Pro Tour these days is 10 strokes used to be, let's say, first place down to like 30th.
Mm-hmm.
10 strokes is all the way down to 80th.
Yeah, it's
tight. It's very tight.
It's a new game. See you guys tomorrow for round 2.